Alright, today we're working on the GTR again. So I've been pretty busy on this over the past couple days, kind of buttoning things up. So I got the wiring specialties harness all installed. It's sort of just sitting in the bay here right now. And then I also went ahead and wired up my accessory harness. So this has the flex fuel, the map sensor, fuel pressure, as well as oil pressure. So what I did is I got a couple Deutsch connectors, some 6-pin and some 2-pin. It might be a little dark, but you can see how clean all that is, and then everything is plug and play. And I've got all the inputs and outputs for the launch control, the fuel pumps, meth pump, all sorts of auxiliary things. So that's all done. This was kind of my little design here in my pin map or wiring diagram, whatever you want to call it. So made that work. And this morning I actually went and picked up my turbo. So I'm pretty fired up about this. I ended up going with a Borg-Warner S300. So it's a mid-frame turbo, but this right here is a 72 millimeter. So they rate this 72 at about 110 pounds a minute. And I'm pretty sure that's enough to flow 1,000 horsepower. But it might be sort of right maxed out, but should do the trick. Now the only stupid thing about these Borg-Warner turbos is the Marmot flange turbine exit here. As you can see, it's kind of a weird size. So what I have here is a 3-inch V-band. I'll match that up the best I can there, and you can see it's not even close. And then 4-inch, you know, it's sort of in between 3 and 4, but you can see it's tapered because it uses like a conical shape to go around there, and then a specially sized V-band clamp. So basically what I'm going to do here, I'm going to cut this Marmot flange right off, take this V-band, and just weld it right on place. As you can see, the inside diameter is 3-inch, so it'll be a smooth transition once I cut the Marmot flange off. And then I've got a nice 3-inch V-band here as well for the downpipe, which I have right here. I built this a couple years ago, 2 years ago I believe. Give you a little show. It's all like nicely pie cutted and everything. And then I've obviously got the wastegate recirc right there. Definitely a lot of time into this piece here. So what basically I'll have to do is I had to modify this for 4-inch, because the other turbo I have actually takes a 4-inch V-band as the outlet. So I'll probably chop it back here, get rid of that crusty little weld there. And then I have a nice cone here, 3 to 4. So that will sort of slip right in like that. Be a nice transition, 3 to 4. And then I will mess around with the wastegate location just to keep it recirculated if I have to. Now another issue with the RB30 and the GTR is the extra deck height of the block. So with the adapter plate, with the deck height, I think it's close to 2 inches taller than the RB26 is. So I'm going to have to probably put 2 inches of pipe in here as well as in the wastegate. Don't think I can kind of have the room here to do it on this angle, but I really need the motor sitting in the engine bay. Then I can modify this stuff. Really just want to modify it to the car instead of taking a chance doing it on the bench and it just being wrong and having to redo it. So I think that's the best way to tackle the exhaust modifications. Alright, first order of business here for the oil pan modifications. What I've gone ahead and done is just grinded this out here a little bit with the Dremel just to clean the surface. Because what I'll be doing is I'll be welding here and up in there just to build it up a little bit higher. Because of the thickness of the adapter plate for the all-wheel drive, these bolts will now be 10 millimeters higher. So what I've done is I've drilled these out to 1/2 inch. Just because you can't find 12 millimeter aluminum rod. And what I'll do is I'll put that in there just the thickness, just right to the front. So what I'll do is I'll put that in there. I'll cut it off nicely. I'll probably leave it just recessed a little bit, and then I'm going to weld it, because the new hole location, because this is 10 millimeters, it's actually going to overlap into this diameter here. So that's the reason for that. We're going to get started on this. Try to weld this up first here. I'll get all these rods cut and pushed in, tack them in place, and then we'll see how things are looking after that. Alright, there it is. So you can see I went ahead and filled in these 4 holes here. Just left it recessed a little bit in, just so I had a bit of area for the filler to kind of flow in there and keep it sort of flush. Let's see if this will focus up. And then you can see I went ahead and filled in all these areas above where I'm going to have to drill, just because the hole is now going to be 10 millimeters higher than what it previously was. Pretty much any RB30 all-wheel drive adapter is about this thick, so it's going to need some sort of modification either way. And this is just the way I chose to do it. I've seen some people cut this right off, shave the 10 millimeters out of it, and then, you know, go ahead and weld around the whole perimeter and raise the whole thing up. But that seemed like a little bit too much work for what we're doing here. So, yeah, on to the next thing.